Today, in this tutorial, we will learn how to make the slider dynamic. First of all, go to code editor. So here I am opening my code editor. Now, inside your code editor, in this section area, we will add a new section. I am naming this section as slider.liquid. First of all, we will change the name of this schema. I'm setting it as slider, and then we will add another value of presets over here. Presets. So presets have two parameters. First one is its name. I'm setting it as slider. And second one is its category. I am also naming it as slider. Now, above your schema, we will place our HTML code for our slider. So here I am pasting my HTML for this. Now, if we look to our code, we will see that there is option to add two sliders. But if we want to make a slider dynamic, so it should be up to us to add how many slides. So to add slides on loop, we will use block in our schema, and we will use for loop to add as many sliders as we want. For that, first of all, I will remove this second slider, and then first replace this settings with blocks, because we wanna add blocks. This block will have certain parameters. First of all, we will add its name, that is slider. Actually, instead of slider, it would be better if we write add slider, and above name there should be type. I'm writing it as text, and then last parameter is setting. You can see that this red line is showing that there is an error. So the error is that I have misspelled blocks. Now you can see there is no error. So moving forward, the first thing we will do is to make this source dynamic. To do so, we will go to our schema, and inside this setting we will add a new entry. Its first parameter would be its type, that is image picker, because we are making the image source dynamic. Then its label. Its label would be select image for slider. After that, ID. ID should be unique for your each entry. You can't repeat same ID twice. So I am setting my ID as img. Now, if we will go above, and over here we will write block dot settings, block dot settings dot id, and our id was img, and then we will use our filter tag. In filter we will write image img URL and I'll set it as one important thing we forget to do is that to add a for loop for our sliders. So over here, just below our UL tag, I will add a for loop that says for block in section dot blocks, and we will end this for loop after this UL closing tag. So over here I will write end for. Sorry, my mistake over here. We will not end this for loop over here, but we will end this above our UL tag after our li tag, so that this whole li will be repeated again and again. Now moving forward, you can see that over here this is our text. So I will replace this text with section dot settings, not section, actually we are working on block, so it would be block dot settings dot id of what? Of the schema we will make over here. So we will add a new schema that would be of type text, then label, I am labeling it as description, and then its ID, I'll set it ID as des, and the last value would be default. Default parameter is usually added when we are working on text type. So over here I will write new trend 2018, and over here I will add my ID, that is des description. Then you can see that this is our text and we need to make it dynamic. This is new collection, so just copy it and make it schema. So for that, again a type that is text, then label, I will label it as heading, and then ID, I'll set its ID as HD, and the last one default value. Now in place of new collection, over here we will add block dot settings dot ID, that was HD. Now we have to repeat the same process for big sale of this week. Just over here I'm just copying this to avoid wastage of time, and I'll label it as heading 2 and its ID as HD2. Its default value would be this, and instead of new collection I will pass this value. Now go back and over here add your code, that is block dot settings dot HD2. Now you can see that we are also left with this button text. So we will repeat the same procedure for our button text, copy this, and instead of heading 2 I will label it as button text. I will change its ID as btn.txt, and over here I will write what is written over here. That is shop now. So just simply write shop now. So just replace this with the code drop dot settings dot btn.txt. And the last thing we need to do is to make this link dynamic. So instead of this I will write set block dot settings dot, I will set it ID as btn link. So over here just repeat the same steps. Instead of button text I'll write button link, and its ID would be btn link, and in default I'll give its value as. Now you can see that I'm done with almost all of the things. Now save it. Now go to your customizer. Inside your customizer you can see this option of add section. Over here search for the section you made. It would be of same name you added over here, slider. So just search for slider. You can see this option. Now you can move this slider over where you want it to add. So I'm adding it over here at the top. Now there's an option of add slider. This is because of the for loop we added. Select add slider. Over here select the image. I am selecting this one. So why the text is not being displayed, just save it first. I'm reloading it, maybe there is loading error. Yeah, that was a loading error. You can see that the text is being displayed properly. So you can also check that whether this text is dynamic or not by adding anything over here. All the default values are already been added over here because of that default option. So you can see that all of this text is dynamic. Now over here you can also add another slider. So select its image. I will select it as this one. So now if you reload the page you can see that your slider is being added. So